Hello or welcome back to Balance While Blooming. Here we talk about time management, budgeting, finances, and really just how to balance all areas of your life to get all the things you want to do with the things you need to do. Now that includes things you want to do with money, things that you need to do with money, the ways to bloom into your best self, balance all the areas. So when you look at your budget, this is my budget, I have my income. So how hard I work and what I do goes here, right? Then I have my bills and expenses. These are things I need. My emergency fund, things I need. Cars is something I wanted, but now I'm paying for it. And then my wants are more of my spending funds, where this is where I get to spend my money and enjoy life. And we budget as a zero-based budget. You will see my December budget as we zero-based budget based off of our income. Now we do under budget, I will be honest, to try to save as much money as possible. Now we had a few changes as we had to buy a few new appliances and everything like that, so I decided to close out November sooner. So I closed out our budget as of November 22nd. Normally I do the 25th, but with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I wanted to make sure that if we decided to spend, that it was in our budget to move forward. And I wanted to just have a clean slate and everything of that manner. So that being said, we are gonna be looking at a little bit different of a November and a little bit of a different December to not only end off the year, really go with a bang into our savings and just really what we need to get ahead on and everything like that. But let's talk about what happened in November and the budget that we did. Okay, so as I said, we ended the month a little bit early, so our expenses are going to reflect that. So we have not gotten our money from our tenants yet, and we don't have 2 paychecks from my husband. So one we did in cash, and we spent it on stuff that wasn't in our overall budget. So that being said, we just called it null and void. We basically said we didn't make that money this month, but we did have a great month without all of that of what we paid. So he paid me $500, and then we opened our joint account. Check out my monthly reset to explain everything that we did in November for our goals, and putting our finances together was one of them. So I am gonna put the exact amount. So $585 and $59. Now I do want to say I'm gonna put every penny this time, but next time I'm going to round up to the highest amount. So this would be like $585 to round down on income, but everything else is going to round up to see if we're over or under, just to make it as realistic as possible and blow through it the way I do it like this, just to kind of show you guys. So normally I say we have $1,600, but we have to do my whole paycheck, which is $1,650. I did get that twice this month. We had our reimbursement for work was $432.21. So I would have just called this $432. And then for our cash back for our credit card, I forgot that for the whole first year that they double it. So it actually came out to $681.15, which was really nice. So now, as I said, we're zero-based budget, but I want to be really realistic here because rent is a factor on that, and that is not like our income. I want to subtract that to see how far really we are. $7,250 minus $1,900. We should, to have a good month, have $5,350 is without rent. So let's see how far off we are and how well we did. Okay, so that is not bad at all. We actually came out with about $600 more. So that comes to $5,998 and 95 cents. As I said, it looks like a big difference, but when we take out that tenant rent, it doesn't count. And we would have $5,350. It's $600 more. That's awesome. 998 and 95 cents. Okay, so we did that. Now let's go into our needs. So you do need your bills and expenses. I think it's so important to focus on those areas. Let's talk about those. So once again, I want to subtract this $1,400 from this. Which comes out to $1,450. That is without rent, the same way we did our tenants. So as long as we're around $1,450, we are doing well. So let's figure out what we spent our money on. So we didn't have rent, we didn't have water, we didn't have electric. We had everything else. Okay, so for internet, that's $114.83. When we do this next month, I'm just gonna call that $115. We paid $35 for our phone. We had for groceries $969.13. I would just call this $970. Gym was $25.05. I would just call this $26. I forgot that my membership was free. I had $238.13. Really good for staying under that $250. I'd call this $239. So you are going to still not have the roundest numbers, but at least it's easier than all these pennies. I do agree that pennies matter. Don't get me wrong. But this was $66.60. So I'd just call that $67. And then we had to spend $108. We had a few doctor's appointments and we paid ahead on our health insurance for next month. So let's figure out if we're close to this $1,450. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. $1,556.74. Okay, so we're going to move that down here. $1,556.74. That's really funny. I wonder if we minus the 108, we're right on budget. $1,448.74. We had $1,450 as the ideal price, right? If we just didn't have that health insurance. So maybe I should put a few dollars every month into that health insurance just in case something comes up. Like co-pays or something, like put $50 or whatever. And then if we're saving, great. If not, no. But anyways, not bad. These were all needs. Obviously, subscriptions aren't needs, but it is something that we have recurring of stuff that we do need. And I don't add it into our groceries because it comes from a different form. It gets delivered monthly, and I get to change that subscription. So I always have it at 100 because that's the max it ever was. So having it at $66 is great. Now let's go into our car. If you are new, you wouldn't know, but we just got back into debt. We had no debt. We just had our credit card that we paid off every single month. We are credit card debt free. It will be interesting to see how next month goes just because we just bought a washer and dryer. Literally after I closed this budget, and that was a big reason why, because I'm not going to be able to pay it off just yet. So it's going into next month's budget and being paid off by the time we need to pay it off, right? So that being said, we got a car, we have the car debt, and we pay that every single month. Let's see, now that we've done a full month of payments, because last month it was just one payment, we do 2 payments a month bi-weekly to get the total amount. So I always do it as $350 for the last 2 months, but let's see what it actually came out to. Okay, so it came out to $315.04. So I might change this to $320 just for budgeting purposes, because it's not going to change unless I plan to put more money into it. Okay, so to figure out if we're going to be plus or negative, what you do is figure out what this $4,050 needs to be to break even. So you take your income and then minus these two numbers. Okay, so technically to break even, we cannot go over $4,127.17. That is to break even. And to quadruple check, you just take that number. So $4,127.17 plus these two should equal the $5,998.95. And it does. Okay, so let's start with what we saved. Saving was tough this month. With that being said, we only saved $700 for our emergency fund, and unfortunately we need to move some of that to pay our credit card off in time, but I do hope to replace that in December. You will see when I do the whole budget, it is a lot of moving from our savings, but that's okay. It's just to pay everything off in time and pay our car insurance. So literally everything that I put here, the $800, is coming right back out, but at least we don't have to worry about it in December, and we are basically at a blank slate. We have saved for it and can prepay it, which is great. So that is 800 plus 700 equals 1,500. So not bad, but not great. We're about $700 off, but that's okay. Life happens. Now, what do we need this number to be? What do we need this number to be? So you take the $4,127.17 minus 1,500. It cannot be more than $2,627.17. So let's see how much we spent. I can be honest, we did not have a great month. We spent some extra stuff that we didn't need to. But it is what it is. Life happens. And I am a big give and take girl. So if we didn't do great this month, I will do better next month. So $542.35. I'm also a big proponent on living your life, but you also don't want to spend too much. You want to make sure you're doing the 30, 20, and 50 rule. What did we do for vacation? This was actually really, really good. I'm very proud of ourselves here. It was $405.47. So only $5, $6 really overpriced. This one was $143 over. That's a little bit much. We could have not gone out to dinner probably one time because it's usually around $100 with our family. Other and miscellaneous, this is where we really got hit hard. There's so much random stuff in here. I don't even know where to start and explain. I'm just looking at my tracking, and that's not terrible, but it's not great. And then Christmas, we did really well. We actually have almost all of our Christmas other than our stocking stuffer stuff, and that comes to $328.13. $28, not terrible, especially when I've pretty much done all of the Christmas shopping. Now, insurance, this is car insurance to finish off this year. We pay our car insurance in December, so we had to pay from when we got the car to the end of the year, and that came to $145.08. It's technically, I wouldn't call this a bad spending in all honesty, just because it was kind of like a bill, but I didn't want to put it up here. I am putting car insurance up there next month, but I just didn't put it up there for the time being. I don't know why, because when you look at my next one, car insurance is up here because it is a bill and an expense. We just pay it yearly. So that being said, let's figure out how much damage we did. We are under, not by much. So $2,579.49. So let's add up this number in the 1,500. $4,079.49. $79.49. Now, why am I going to say this is bad? The reason why I'm going to say this is bad is because we did not hit our savings goal, which that was what this was. We were supposed to save more this month than spend. We unfortunately didn't do that. That's okay. But let's find out if we are in the positive or the negative. because that's the real question, if we are positive or negative for the entire month. $47. We are in the green, not by much. $47.68. Close call this month, really close, but this is a realistic month for us. Some months are higher, some months are lower. We will be moving about $50. We have a little bit extra always flowing in our account. That part of our quarterly goals was to move whatever we had at the end of the month. So this $50 will go into savings, so we will have an extra $50 into here. December will be an interesting month. Come back to watch that video. But thank you guys so much for closing out November with me. Understand that your finances, your time, your passions, your projects, everything needs to be balanced from your wants to your needs. You cannot be stretching yourselves too thin. Make sure that you are finding balance in your life and understanding all areas of your life are super important, but how you prioritize right now, we need to prioritize on our debt and our savings, especially because we don't have our emergency fund. But for you, it might be family time and being in the moment, and spending more quality time because you already have that financial freedom that you want. But remember, budgeting is just one area of my life. I have multiple areas of life that I like to balance and really bloom into. Not only is this my passion to budget, make sure my family is having fun, healthy, able to survive, but also making generational wealth over time. We are working on not only passive income projects, but also finding ways to explore and expand and save as much money as possible and grow it in investments and all of that sort. So come along on this journey for us to not only become debt free, but to help you see how I budget, how to help you budget, and if I can just motivate one person to take balance on just their finances, that's great. But if you want, please subscribe, like this video, let me know what other type of finance or mindset videos around money that you want to know, and we can build this community together. I'm glad that this was a positive month. Hopefully next month is the same. Come back at the end of the week for our December budget. You will see a lot of different things on here just due to the end of the month, and a lot of our yearly subscriptions and everything comes out. Great timing, I know, but that's okay. This is real life. I'm just one person sharing my journey. I want you to join this community to not only be that community aspect, share your story, share your life, but also understand that we can all do this together, one step at a time. And I hope that I see you guys on Instagram. I don't do as much money over there, but I do mindset, I do planning, and this is part of my planning journey, don't get me wrong, but I don't do as much money over there. So if you want to see other aspects of my life, go follow me over there. And I hope to see you guys soon, not only balancing your life, but blooming into your best self. Bye, guys.